What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Sperax today, SPA. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Here we are at about 1.11 cents right now, ever changing every single second, every single moment of the day. Oh, look, see, oh, it went away and then it came right back. Looking like we're moving down 23% this week so far. Today, you are up a little bit, but so is everything, right? They're just moving neutral. It's kind of a neutral day today, whatever. In the process of going lower, your daily RSI is showing oversold readings. If we're looking at this here, you oftentimes do go this low in the RSI and maybe even a little bit lower. Yes, sometimes a little bit less low. In fact, the last time that you were this low was all the way back in July of 2024, right? And you did go a little bit lower. Let's just look at that right here. This is all the way back right here. Did you go lower? Sure, you did, but you had an immaculate pump. So at some point here soon, Sperax, you are going to see a nice immaculate move to the upside. You absolutely will. I mean, literally last time that you were at this RSI level or lower, from a low to a high in the course of, what was that? That was July 5th to July 14th. You moved up 95%. I think this thing's going to snap back. Okay, not financial advice, not financial advisor, but I would assume that there are a lot of people who are thinking, as long as we hold above this low, as long as we hold above these lows, everything's okay. And now there's a bunch of people who are crapping their pants, right? As long as we're above here, as long as we can form a double bottom, everything's okay, guys. We're desperate right now, but it's okay. We'll probably get rid of your desperations and make you even more, or actually enlarge your desperations. It'll probably scare you even more, and all you'll do at this point, if you sell, is make the worst decision possible. You'll be the exit liquidity, or I guess not the exit liquidity. You'll be the buy liquidity. The entrance liquidity is what you will be. If you sell down here, it's the worst possible time to sell because that's likely where the smart money's buying. This is what they call a capitulation event, where you take out this low. It's a very obvious area, and I do think it's going to be a fake out where you're down here for a very short-lived amount of time. When you come back up, you'll snap back. I wouldn't be surprised at all if by the time you went down here and you move up within a couple weeks, by like the middle of April, if not even earlier, the first week of April or like the second week of April, you're back up at like $1. Sorry, not $1, 1.4 cents or more, right? Anything and everything in between could happen. It could be that instead of snapping back immediately, you get some kind of consolidation phase where you're just working yourself out, and then maybe later in May you start to pump. But whatever happens, I don't believe that you've got too much lower to go. I think that you are already very near your lows. Now, I do think that Bitcoin is going to drop lower, about another 13% or so. If that happens, Sperax could drop 13% or more, and we can go over that kind of scenario as well. But there are times, even whenever Bitcoin's dropping, where you can get volatility from altcoins, especially if they're dropping through the floor like this. So looking at the daily RSI, being oversold like this doesn't mean that you have to be done being oversold. You absolutely can go lower. But let's just see real quick back here. I mean, you even had a little pump right there, but let's get some kind of fib on here. Maybe a weekly time frame will be better. Let's take this low to high and see where we are. Low here from August to the high here in February. Was that February 3rd? Oh, that was just the week of February 3rd. Right. Okay, so you're down in your golden ratio. Nice area to find support. Oftentimes, with the first attempt in the golden ratio, you do bounce, so that should be the expectation. It is possible you can go lower, and if you do, that's only a bonus, guys. If you happen to be fortunate or unfortunate enough to drop all the way to the 786, how much would that be? That'd be about 25% drop. I could see that happening. If Bitcoin drops 13%, I could see this thing dropping double that, right? 23%, 25%. 27%, whatever, something around that area. It could happen. It could happen. That area right there, that is resting essentially right on this prior area of resistance right here, right? Literally right here, prior areas of resistance, prior area of support, area of resistance here, and resistance there as well. So somewhat significant, not the most significant, but still somewhat significant. It's very common whenever you go from your high to a low. It's not common to rip through your golden ratio on the first attempt. It's common on the first attempt to bounce, okay? And at least go to your 0.5 if not higher, which again, that'd be at like 1.5 cents or higher. So I'm just saying you've got some immaculate upside potential here to come. But if you go all the way down below the golden ratio on your first attempt, which is less common, but it does happen, especially this cycle has happened a lot. If you go below the golden ratio and hit the 786 on your first attempt, the implied move there would be all the way back up to the 236. And that'd be a crazy, crazy move. But I mean, man, you've seen some crazy stuff happen before with this thing. Whenever in regards to its lows, I can see some pretty heavy snapbacks. Does that mean you have to go all the way to the 236? No. Sometimes there are scenarios where When you bounce off the 786, you stop at the 382 or even the 0.5. But generally speaking, if you tear through the golden ratio to your 786, you do go all the way up to your 236 or above. That's the generality there. Generality is not a certainty. It's not a guarantee. It's just an idea. After all, it's just an idea. We look at the weekly RSI. As far as the weekly RSI goes, I'm not worried about you. You look very strong, very dominant. You probably do have lower to go because you found support this cycle here, June 2024, and then in the beginning of the cycle here at these lower price or lower readings around 34 and below. You're at a 40 now. Don't get me wrong, closing the week here and bouncing off the 40 is a good thing, but going lower wouldn't be too bad either. You have found support a couple times below. So 23% drop, 30% drop from here shouldn't scare you. You should just be prepared for that because it very well can happen. What do you mean it shouldn't scare me? We're already down 23% this week. Well, you know what? It just happens sometimes, man. This is crypto. Hopefully you didn't buy the absolute top, but even if you did, there will come a time when we take out that top and we do continue growing, and I think Sperax has a lot of potential to grow. If we're looking at this here on a daily perspective again, maybe a 4-hour perspective again, we'll go over the upside in a second, but nope, that's not what I meant to do. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, you are pretty damn bearish. Lower highs, lower lows, rejecting the oversold zone for 2 times in a row now. I do think that you're overdue, not overdue, but you are coming up to a bounce. I think that you're going to see some wicked volatility here. Whether that bounce provides your low as the low or not, that's not for me to say at this point, but I think before you bounce, you will see lower prices. I do think that you have a little bit lower to go. So it's very possible that you do just have a one-track mind here to this 786. It's very, very possible that you do from a low to a high, that you go all the way down to about 0.0085. You're at 1.1 cents now. It's also very possible that you do continue to push down, but you only go down to about 1 cent right there to the 6.9, right at this area of support here on this this golden ratio zone. Prior area of resistance here, kind of prior areas of resistance here, closing support back here, all in this same zone. If you find support there, this could be where you get a little volatility. You bounce. Bitcoin's still in the midst of its drop, so maybe you pull back a little bit from there. You see that overall 20% drop or more from your newfound high or your lower high. It's not really newfound. It's just a continuation of the downtrend, I guess. But if you're up here versus down here as Bitcoin progresses down, that sets you up for a position where you don't go all the way down to 0.084, 0.085 or lower, right? I wouldn't expect if you do go lower that you go too much lower than 0.085. You can go below there, and that's fine, but not too much lower is what my thoughts are. There's no guarantee that happens either. Again, if you get this, you're at a moment from a daily perspective. It could be any day now, man. It could be any day. It could be any week. I actually do assume that by the end of next week, not this week, right? Because on a weekly time from here, we've got 7 hours, 31 minutes left. I think by the end of next week, if not in the very beginning of next week, you will find resolution to the downside. You will find your low. That's the expectation at the moment, at least. And whenever it comes to going higher, let's talk about the good stuff now. You will very likely take this high out and see dramatically higher prices. You've got a double top here. Whenever you come back up, triple tops are not really a thing. They're not common. You might get that triple top look for a moment, but triple tops are often just inevitable breakthroughs, right? They're very rarely held. Same thing with triple bottoms. Though to be completely fair, this I think was a triple bottom, which triple bottoms are very powerful signals. They really are. Long phases of accumulation, respect at the areas. You don't have to call this a triple bottom. Yes, it's lower lows each time, but triple bottoms, double bottoms, double tops, they tend to be more pretty. They're more appealing, attractive looking, right? Triple bottoms are not always the prettiest things. They're kind of ugly, and I feel like that is a triple bottom, but maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm not the most experted person in triple bottoms and triple tops, but I know that triple bottoms and triple tops are ugly. Enough of that. If I say triple anything one more time, you got to drink something, man. From a high to a low here, high to a come on now to the low. We have interacted with the golden ratio zone. You actually sold off just above it. That's not a bullish thing, and that could be why you're going all the way to this 236 now. That's at 0089, right? 0089, 0085. Somewhere in that zone might be where you find support. I'm pretty keen on believing that that's what happens. But whenever it does come time to recover, I would assume this next move doesn't stop at the golden ratio, but instead goes to this 786 or 886 area here. Now, this won't be the first attempt. It technically is the second attempt, but you didn't touch it here. Yeah, I know, but it's still, this was the attempt. You didn't reach it. You didn't succeed on your attempt. This will be the second attempt. And with the second attempt, it is common to go to the 786, 886 area and not pull all the way back to these zones, like we're expecting with the opposite here from a low to a high and pulling back to that 236. Anyways, if you remember what I'm talking about from the earlier part of the video. If not, I don't care to really explain. I hope you know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. If you don't know what I'm saying, just replay the video. You'll know what I mean, or maybe you won't. I don't know. But just trust when I tell you. This next attempt here, 786, 886, that's kind of the target area that I'm expecting, which would be about, what is that there? What is that? That's about 9.6 cents to 14.7 cents. What is that, man? That's crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. From the current price of 1.1121 cents, and it's ever changing, that's a minimum of like a 8.5x to potentially targets that are up at like a 13x move, guys. That's crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. And the crazy thing is, the real crazy thing is, you don't even have to stop there. You could go higher. It is possible that you could go higher. You have cooled way the hell off on your RSI, way the hell off. I mean, the last time that you're down in these areas on a weekly basis and you moved up, you saw a move that, in 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks time gave you a 5x, right? And we're calling for things that are even larger than that. I do think that this move will be larger. I think it'll be the biggest move you've seen this cycle, because as bull cycles go on, you tend to get stronger moves. But also, if we're thinking about this in a greater context, you're still kind of in this consolidation phase, this accumulation phase, aren't you? Right? You're still here in this accumulative zone. You broke out for a moment, but if we just drew a box here, right, you're still in your box. You broke out for a moment and came back in. When you move up above these highs, it's a very validating move that you're getting away from your accumulation phase, right? This is like a second, an all aboard call, a last call, right, to get in on this fantastic ride to the upside. I would think with that certainty, with that conviction that you're getting away from this accumulation zone, you're going to see a real breakout. You're going to see something that's bigger and better than anything you've seen this cycle. So I really do expect 9.6 cents to 14.7 cents to be the target areas that we're looking for. Whenever it comes to going higher, whenever it comes to seeing new all-time highs, let's go over that real quick, actually. SPA. 18.8 million. Let's just call it 20 million. Let's round up 20 million. $2.5 million in volume. That's good volume, guys. It's actually not bad volume on a market cap to volume ratio over the last 24 hours. It's actually not bad at all. Let's see here. 13% right there. Not bad. 20 million. Let's just call it 20 million, okay? If you do move up from here, a 100x would be... Wait, is that right? Hold on, let me just do... Yeah, $20 million market cap. This thing has a lot of potential, guys. Low market caps have the most potential, man. 20 million right now to 100x would be a $2 billion market cap. And that's not easy, right? I don't care what your market cap is. 100x growth is not an easy thing to accomplish unless you're a meme coin. It's kind of like a rite of passage if you're a meme coin, but you have to get in really early. Like, you're not going to catch 100x on most meme coins, right? It's like you have to develop the coin or be on the inside or just get really lucky and snipe it from the beginning. But 100x there would be at about a $2 billion market cap. And I would think you're going to do one of two things. Either you stop just shy of 100x, maybe you see a 70x, a 68x, 69x maybe, at about a 78 cents price. That'd be my minimum expectation for Sperax. Or you wouldn't stop at 100x from here. You'd only go higher. 128x from here, a multi-100x, a 305x from here. Could you go higher than that? I mean, dude, a 1000x, as nuts, as crazy as it sounds, and I understand people have a hard time wrapping their heads around 1000x. People have a hard enough time wrapping their heads around anything that's like above a 20x sometimes, right? Let alone 100x or anything in between. But if a 100x is 2 billion, 1000x is 20 billion. I know that that's a lot of growth. I know that is. And I'm not saying that it happens. I'm not saying that I would expect it to happen. I'm just saying if this thing catches on, if this is a long phase of accumulation, if this becomes the next big thing in crypto and people start talking about it, sees an immaculate rip that sees like a 20, a 40x or more by the end of May or June, and you'd have to see like a 20. If by the end of May or June you're at these areas that we were talking about, then 1000x is probably not where you're going. And that's fine. I don't expect that now. But if you're at like new all-time highs by the end of May, by the end of June, then it's very possible this thing might run all the way up to $10, $11 even, right? Something like that. That's a nice psychological area of resistance too, right? And $20 billion, that's not asking for the world, right? There are plenty of cryptos that will see $20 billion in this cycle that will be non-existent in future cycles, right? There's plenty of cryptos last cycle that saw those market caps that are low, who cares, whatever they're doing coins this cycle. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that this coin's going to be the top of the pyramid, the tip of the pyramid, right? I'm not saying it's the top of the food chain or anything like that, but if it were to be, if it is that coin of the cycle, what's crazy is you genuinely do have 1,000x potential in this thing. But you'd have to start, the only way that you could validate that is if you start revving the engines. You got to start making some headway here soon, right? We need like at least a 20x move, but probably more than that even, right? Let's see, hold on. Come on, man, give it to me. Let's go, come on. Yeah, you need to get to new all-time highs. 20x or more is what we'd have to see by the end of this next phase. If that happens, we'll start talking about $11 a little bit more seriously. Until then, I think it's most appropriate to talk about 78 cents to $3.46 as the target areas. And I know, boo-hoo, it's not 1,000x, but that's still 310x, 311x potential. That is still at a minimum, guys, 70x potential. Like, wipe your tears away with Benjamins. It's going to be okay. But this zone, I'm very confident in. This zone, less confident in. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I'm not calling for this. I'm just addressing it as a possibility, and it's something you should consider. With stuff like this, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. When you're dealing with stuff like this, think about it in the sense of like, man, I'm diversified enough. I've been buying the dips on all these cryptos. I've got bills to pay. I don't got a lot of money left. Well, you're still eating, right? Hopefully you're still eating. You're still paying your bills, and you're still probably putting some money away. Maybe you're not putting away thousands of dollars every month, every week, every few months. Maybe it's taking you a long time to accumulate money that quote unquote matters to you. But what about money that doesn't matter to you? Let's play a game. I would think that no matter who you are, unless you're homeless, $10 is probably not an amount that matters to you, right? $10. What would $10 be times 1,000? That's 10,000. You could make $10,000 maybe off of a $10 investment. And boo-hoo if it doesn't. Maybe you don't make $10,000. Maybe instead you get a 70x, which would be take that $10 and that would turn it into $700. You know what I mean? Like that's not bad. Is that right? No, hold on. A 10x would be $100. Yeah, so it'd be like $70. Or no, $700. What am I doing here? $700. You know what I mean? And if $10 isn't a lot of money to you, but $700 is, you could take money that doesn't matter and turn it into money that does matter, and maybe by the course of the end of the cycle. Let alone if you have $100 that's just sitting there, or $500 that's just sitting there, $1,000. You know what I mean? And I'm not promising any of this. I don't know everything about Sperax. Do your own research, right? Make sure that you're looking into the tokenomics. Fully diluted valuation is still pretty high versus the market cap here. If we look at the all-time history, we go to the price here and we look at the market cap. I mean, they're actually pretty in line, which is good. But look at the token release schedule, make sure that's right for you. Read the white paper, go on the website, learn as much as you can about it, other than just the price perspectives. Because as interesting as that is, you're going to find more interesting stuff and more reasons to be convicted and believe in what you're investing in if you have knowledge about it and you understand what it is you're investing in. Right? I like to tell people this: if you invest in something, you should be able to tell a stranger who's down the street, if they're talking about crypto with you, like, yeah, man, I'm invested in this. What coin are you invested in? Oh, I'm invested in Sperax. SPA. Oh, I've never heard of it. What does that do? If you're like, I don't know. I saw the potential of it, and I thought it was a good coin, so I got into it. That's you saying, I'm gambling, and I have no clue what I'm doing, so I'm hoping that somebody else knows what they're doing so that I can make money off of them. Don't do that. You're setting yourself up for failure. Make sure that you can at least tell that person what it is, what it does. You don't have to know every detail. I don't know how a car works, right? I know how to drive a car, but I couldn't build a car. I know how a car works, I guess. I don't know how to build a car, right? You don't have to know the ins and outs of Sperax, but you can still have a conversation with somebody on how to drive. You know what I mean? Like that's not a hard concept to conceive there. So I don't think I have anything else. I think the point's been made. A lot of potential with this thing. And I think that the true potential will become more clear once we have resolution of this next move. I'm very much anticipating that you stop around 9.6 cents to 14.7 cents. But if you go to new all-time highs or anywhere around like 24 cents or more, you guys, this could be big. This could be a big deal. And I'm not gonna lie, man. That's you've been moving down a lot, right? This volume here increasing or being at these heightened levels while you're moving down, it's not necessarily encouraging, but seeing a lot of volume still, even whenever you're at these disencouraging times, that's that's not a bad thing, right? And Sperax, I think, has a lot of potential. We'll see how it goes, but it really does depend, right? If you get a big flop on this next move up, if it's nothing like what I'm thinking it is, you stop at like 7 cents, dude, I think you'll be lucky to get to 70 cents. You know what I mean? And even then, if you're putting in a small amount of money, letting it ride, it shouldn't matter, right? Diversifying is not a bad thing, but if you've got cash on the side, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I think that it would have more of a chance to grow if you park it in crypto versus parking it in your bank account. But that's just my thoughts. Or under your mattress. You know who you are, you mattress hiders. I'm coming for your mattresses. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.